Hello YouTube, I'm Natanis, and as always, we're leaving work. So, yeah, time for our usual chat. Not really sure what today's subject should be. I had a couple of different ones that I was thinking about, but last night's shift was just annoying. It wasn't like it was a difficult night. It was just an annoying night. A lot of not really busy work. It was just big things that we had to do that meant our usual spread of breaks was borderline illegal. And I do mean that. But I don't want to get into that legal nonsense. I'm not a lawyer or anything, or anybody that has to deal with law, so I'm not going to get into that. But I'm pretty positive that with that kind of shift that occasionally happens is actually illegal. I hate the speed bumps here. So what are we going to talk about? What are some of the subjects? Well, one of the subjects I wanted to talk about was kind of mental health related. I was thinking about talking about that because I'm so irritated with everything going on right now. Like, anybody that I know in person just irritates the hell out of me right now. Like, I'm ready to bash some skulls and irritated. And that's not even like a slight. I'm sick of them. I'm tired of dealing with them. And that's pretty much everybody I know right now. There's a couple of exceptions to that, but they're not people I have to deal with on a daily basis. In fact, I've only seen both of them once in the past year. So, yeah, whoop-de-doo. I really don't want to get into that because, again, that just goes into subjects that I think are a little bit touchy for me to talk about. Another thing that I wanted to talk about, potentially talk about, was kind of the grandeur of a story arc that I had going there for a little while. It's a story that's always in the back of my mind. I haven't really flushed it out, and I've got the sun blaring right at me right now. It is 7:53 at the moment. March. Good grief. Tuesday, March 19th, I think. I didn't really see the date, so yeah, it's Tuesday. But the story that I had, it's a story that's been in the back of my mind for like forever, and it is kind of my ultimate hero story. Like my ultimate character. Like, the problem with it is, first off, I just haven't bothered writing it because I don't really know how I need to go about writing it. The other problem is, a while back, Jim Butcher was asked. Jim Butcher is the author of the Dresden Files. He is my absolute favorite author. He was asked a while back why Harry Dresden is the way he is. And he said, well, when he was... And this isn't entirely correct. I'll grant you that. It's not entirely correct. This may not be how it went down. But he said that when it comes to characters, you have three choices. You have the fledgling that can't do anything and is absolutely pointless to follow because they're so weak and helpless. Or on the opposite end of that, you've got the seasoned wizard who has been around for hundreds of years and is extremely powerful and nothing's really a challenge to him. Or you got my phone falling over because I was trying to figure out how to... Something's going on with the stand. I don't know why, but for some reason it's lower than usual. It's really weird. Anyway, the second character was like overpowered, nothing's really a challenge. And then the third character is the bumbling idiot. Thanks, Karma. Thanks. I'll let you guys laugh that one up for a little while. Please leave a comment down below. That so just happened, right as I said, bumbling idiot. That's nothing on me. Like I said, there's something up with the stand. It's not in the same position that it's always been, and I don't know why, because it hasn't moved. Yeah, so my character is actually the overpowered, nothing's really a challenge character. And I mean that to an extreme. And you know, currently in the anime world, isekai is extremely big, and most of the isekai animes are, if I understand this correctly, you know, leave a comment below if this is incorrect, but what I understand about them is it deals with a character who is overpowered. So it's along that lines, but we're talking overpowered to an extreme, and there is a reason for that. So, like, how overpowered are we talking? Yeah, we're talking extreme overpower. So, my character is the right hand of fate. Okay? If you know anything about what it means to be somebody's left hand or somebody's right hand is in old world, like old traditional, like medieval times and like ancient, I'm talking like real old times, the right hand was seen as the war hand because you held your weapon in your right hand. And things like an olive branch for peace was held in the left hand because that's your weaker hand. You're not going to extend your weaker hand to an enemy. You're probably going to extend your strong hand with a sword towards an enemy. Anyway, so he's the right hand of fate. And fate is one half. She's one half of the same coin, if that makes sense. Destiny is her twin sister, and the way I had it working was that if Destiny says you die, fate says you live. But if Destiny says you live, fate says you die. And pretty much any series out there. Okay, I've got to explain what Fate and Destiny are. Fate and Destiny are exactly that. They are Fate and Destiny. But they're basically got the mind of a little kid. And they control all of existence. All of it. So, any universe that you can think of, and I mean this to an extreme, DC, Marvel, Sonic the Hedgehog, Scooby-Doo, Supernatural, Dune, Spider-Man, Marvel, whatever, anime, Dragon Ball Z, any of these isekai shows, all of these are controlled by fate and destiny. And like I said, they are little kids. They write all their stories, which are all these other universes, and they expect them to work properly. Well, if you've ever been around a little kid, if something goes wrong, they expect somebody else to fix it. So that's essentially what Natanis is as Fate's right hand. He is her weapon to keep her universes in check. So basically, if something happens that is outside of what she wanted to have happen, he takes care of it. If she wants to change something but doesn't want to use any of the characters in the story, she has my character do that. I hope I didn't say the character's name. That's why I paused there. I was like, did I say it was Natanis? It's not Natanis. This is a completely different character. Natanis is more mundane, more down to earth. This one is like over the top. The full character's name is Leonardo Silver Kai. Because back when I originally made the character, Leonardo was the name that I used for just about any character I came up with. And we're talking like I was a little kid when I came up with that name. So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were big. The US was getting introduced to Dragon Ball Z, not Dragon Ball. I never heard of Dragon Ball until like Dragon Ball Z. So the important thing there is that we got all the different Kais in the Dragon Ball Z universe. So that's where the Kai came from. So Leonardo Silver Kai. His power base is very similar to a Dragon Ball Z character. His actual amount of energy and everything that he can do is finite, but we're talking he's got such a huge pull that it might as well be infinite. Yeah, you could run him out of energy. Good luck. Like I said, this character is over the top. And effectively, he just looks like a normal, depending on where he is, he looks like a normal person in kind of a Japanese robe thing. I don't know what you call that. Not really a gi. Think more along the lines of one of Neo's outfits from the first 2 Matrix movies. Or no, actually it'd be from the second Matrix movie, now that I think about it. His outfit's more like that. But this is very important. This is what he looks like. This is not what he actually looks like. This is an illusion cast on him, and that's part of his character thing, is you never see what he actually is. And the reason I wanted to differentiate that is I know Death Battle has a big thing about, this is a transformation. Now, in his case, this is just an illusion. This is what everybody thinks he looks like. The actual look of him is more like oh gosh, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but and this is completely inaccurate, but you get the idea. Is more like a biblically accurate angel. That's not entirely correct. It's just what came across my mind, and I thought it was funny, so we'll go with it. So yeah, very, very distinct there. That is not a transformation or anything else. It is an illusion cast on him by fate for him to move around in worlds. And it's very important here. In order for him to move around in worlds, I have it to where he can't use more than 1% of his true power. And if you take the idea that this character is meant to defeat any possible character he comes across with only 1% of his power, yeah, he's overpowered as hell. And that doesn't matter what character it is. Like, 1% of his power, he should be able to absolutely annihilate them. But he doesn't. And what I mean by that is his job is to take care of things that go AWOL within worlds. So if actually, that's a good example that I think about it. Think of him like a omnipresent version of the TVA. If you're familiar with Marvel, think of him as like an omnipresent across the entire universe, across the entire multiverse. Like, we're just going to call it a mega multiverse, because I did say DC, Marvel, anime, live action, horror, whatever. If it's something that you have read, watched, or played a game of, those worlds to him are real. Like, he can travel to them, and his multiverse is infinite. But for him himself, he's the only one. He has only ever existed once. So, with that in mind, he is extremely powerful. Now, the reason for this actual insane power is not so that he can defeat characters, and I'm not going to say the one that I quite often talk about in posts and everything. There is one character out there that I'm like, yeah, he just outright destroys them. So my camera for the crash detection just went off. That's what that sound was. Anyway, so the real purpose of his power is he has to deal with, and it's still a work in progress name because I stole it directly from Jim Butcher. He has to deal with outsiders. So outsiders are beings that exist outside of a universe. They don't belong inside the universe, and yeah, that's how that works. We're just going to keep it that simple. Only in his case, outsiders, where they come from, are effectively the remnants of worlds that fate or destiny has deemed that she doesn't like, and she's just going to destroy them. Well, those destroyed worlds don't like that, or those destroyed universes don't like that. So all the stuff that makes up that universe, like all the souls, all the people, all the aliens, everything, doesn't like that, so just kind of congeals into a pure form of hatred for being destroyed, and it tries to destroy other universes, and they can do that fairly easily. Like, not quite snap their fingers and destroy them, but, you know, basically the same kind of premise. I think I actually, the concept that I have in my head, I actually stole the reality bomb from Doctor Who for. It's just an idea in the back of my head. I haven't really figured out exactly how they go about doing that. But yeah, they can deal some damage. And so these things are super powerful if they can just obliterate universes. And that's kind of the whole point of all that, is they're meant to be the major threat that he has to deal with. They're the real reason why he exists. Let's see if I can put this over here for a second. Nope. I feel like a VTuber is trying to adjust stuff. There we go. And like magic, that's now angled in such a way that it's down. I don't know. That's weird. But you know, back to the character, and that seems to be what the majority of this particular chat is about. So yeah, whatever. Yeah, been talking for so long. Okay, so with all these outsiders that he has to deal with, they are super powerful, so he needed to be super powerful. And again, it's over the top powerful. And this is a character in a world where I've had a hard time wanting to really continue writing anything on it, because obviously I would have to have like I'd have to have like permission. I forget the name of it. I would have to have, yeah, we'll just go with permission for now because I can't think of the right word. In order to use all these different universes and say that they all exist and this character is capable of traveling to them. And they are spread out. They are spread out everywhere. And one of the things, like, I wrote a portion that I thought would be a good opening for the first book to try and kind of introduce this character. And I wanted to do like a time, not really a time travel, but a time-based story. So he's talking about it. It introduces him taking care of one of these outsiders, and he thinks back to the past because he's old. Dude's freaking ancient. I don't remember exactly how old, but by the time you're hearing of him in his heyday and at his most powerful, he's been around a couple trillion years. I never came up with an exact number on that. I didn't think it was that important, because one of the things I wanted to do with him is just be like, yeah, I've been around a while, I've stopped counting. Like, once you reach your first trillion, what's another year? 1,000,000,001? Why bother counting? So I never really came up with a full-on age for him. What I was going to do is kind of introduce him at his youngest. And basically it's kind of this weird thing where I wanted to drop him off in an elven kingdom. In this particular world, there are no humans. The humans have all been killed off because of a prophecy. And I never could get the rhyme to really work for a prophecy. It had to be something about like, I had a portion of it written out, but it didn't really rhyme. It was like, what was it? It was, a warrior falls, a love proclaimed. And then something like the hero rises. something about silver light, and the guardian is revealed. So it was something like that. And the actual, if I ever write this, is going to be spoilers right here. The actual story there is that so we got the character Leon, and we had two princesses. The one princess is the one that is supposed to be the one to find this guardian warrior, when in actuality it's the other princess that is supposed to find him, and she's actually the one that finds Leonardo. But because of the way events happen, it looks like the other princess is, and that means that she's found two heroes. There's another elf that she comes across that is an elf that nobody knows where he came from. As far as Leonardo was never supposed to be an elf. He was human. However, to match up with this idea of him being possible for the prophecy, he was supposed to bathe in some kind of sacred waters that it didn't really change him from human to an elf. What it did is it magically imbues him to be an elf. So he's not actually an elf, but he's not actually human anymore. He's this magical concoction of the two. Anyway, so when the final battle happens, it is very, very derivative of Dragon Ball Z and their whole powering up system. So when it comes to the final battle, the other elf is definitely more powerful than him. And he's fighting the final, the big villain. See, now the camera's like too low. I don't get it. As the dude's fighting him, he ends up he actually loses that fight, and that's where the whole the warrior falls comes into play. So she's seeing him fall, and the princess again. Well, not again. I haven't mentioned this. So both of the guys are interested in the same princess, and there's been this kind of back and forth, this like third wheel kind of thing going on between them. It's a love triangle. There we go. Love triangle going on, and she can't quite choose which one she wants to be with. And as she sees the warrior fall, this other one losing the fight and potentially dying, she's like, oh, so the prophecy says that one will, the warrior will fall, and then I'll proclaim my love for him, and he'll become the guardian. Well, she does that. She proclaims her love, declares that she wants to be with him, and he needs to get up and fight the other warrior, or the evil villain, and he's dying in her arms. But our main character, Leonardo, overhears this, and if you're familiar with Dragon Ball Z power-ups, this kind of distraughts him a little bit, and he's like, she chose him? She seriously chose him over me? And just this whole mental thing happens, and he just snaps. Kind of like the whole anger makes you more powerful, more like that, not the freaky kind of snap. So he snaps, and boom, he powers up to be the guardian. Now in this early version, he's not that strong. He's in this guardian state, we'll call it. Uh, he is effectively probably the original concept. He was probably about equal to a Super Saiyan in terms of power. So light speed, travel, energy blast, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So he's pretty powerful at that point. And he takes on the villain and absolutely annihilates the villain, and it's done and dusted. As soon as that battle happens, though, the younger princess, the one that actually found him, she proclaims her love for him, but he gets pulled away. Okay, and the first 100,000 years is him missing and wishing he had somebody to be with, because he's still pretty humanized at that point. He hasn't been around for an extreme amount of time by that point, but he has been around for a while, so it's starting to kind of fade a little bit. The loneliness, that is, which I didn't really mention. We just kind of said that, but he's been doing this job for Fate for a very long time by this point, and yeah. So that first section is supposed to be him dealing with being alone and missing that princess, which he doesn't find out until it doesn't matter to him anymore that universe was trashed the moment he transformed. Literally, the only purpose of that entire universe was for him to unlock his power. Yeah. And that wasn't even his full power. That was just him unlocking the power that Fate had made him with. Though it isn't his full potential. His full potential is ridiculous. And over the course of the next trillion years, that's where he starts unlocking all that and getting to the point that he's at when the book actually opens. And that's kind of where I wanted to go with that and have that character become. He's telling his backstory and then showing the progress into this super powerful being. And I wanted to do it in little snippets of the past while mixing in him fighting off this outsider that's at the beginning of the book. And yeah, that's kind of what that was all about. And I realized that it's a little bit over the top. We got way too many things that I wanted to deal with or do with the character as far as interacting with other universes like DC and Marvel and Dragon Ball Z and yada yada yada. I actually at one point had him training with Goku in the hyperbolic time chamber. Realistically, that never would happen. So it's one of those characters that I kind of just had to toss off to the side and realize that it was not gonna actually happen. Yeah. Anyway, leave a comment down below. Like it. Please leave a like if you actually enjoyed hearing me ramble on about an overpowered character, and think about subscribing for more talky content. Maybe one day we'll get back to making, game videos, Minecraft videos, however you want to put that, game content. I know we've been doing some streaming and pulling them over. I did stream Minecraft for the first time in forever the other day. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I haven't decided to bring over the video yet because we pretty much just gathered in resources the entire time I was streaming. We did have one visitor. I don't know how long into the stream it was before I noticed they were there. And part of that is, I don't get too many people chatting too often, so it's not like I'm constantly screen, checking in on chat. If I had a whole lot more going on over there, I'd probably look a little more often. But considering I usually don't have a whole lot going on, like I may get one person in every 3 months, maybe more. It just depends. Then there's the fact that I'm also like, I don't want to say that I'm a variety streamer. Mostly because we haven't found our niche yet. Nobody's really watching us, period. So we're still in the development stage of that. Maybe one day we'll figure out what exactly it is we need to stream in order to pull people in, or maybe our YouTube stuff will eventually take off and we can pull people in with content. But as of right now, we were over 50 with our sub count. We hit 51, and then almost immediately we dropped down to 50 again. So yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, I've got to go get back inside. It is way late for me to be home, and I would love to go to bed right now. So I will see y'all next time. Bye.